we want to be healthy. We don't want to drink on the weekend. We want to look after ourselves.
Yeah.
That is what has kept us driven. One thing that exercise allows me to do is I can throw myself into it and I can let off so much steam. I can push my body to limits that I may not feel like I could do at that time. I need to look after myself as well. It's okay to say no to work stuff. It's okay to say no to your friends. It's okay to just want to sit at home and do nothing.
Have you found any challenges in trying to keep that balance when you're in that off period? Like, how do you still maintain it?
It's like...
Brookes R
Britt
is
here we
in
are,
the house.
round 2.
So we actually just recorded the intro and
And
then...
we finally stopped the Zoomies.
So the Zoomies, explain the
They come
Zoomies.
back.
Explain the Zoomies.
So, you know how dogs after like a walk or something, they get the Zoomies? Well, me and Britt called them squirmies.
Squirmies.
But just downstairs we were just like, and we got rid of them and now they're back.
Whenever we are together, we just can't control the energy inside of our bodies. We've never sat opposite each other and
Ever.
tried to have a conversation.
No.
Like, I even think when we were on that plane over to Sydney, we were running around the like my limbs were, I was a pretzel, weren't even next to me.
Oh, we had a bit of a warm up downstairs opposite each other in the cafe and we still couldn't sit still.
So this will be interesting in our own little Brooke and Britt language, but we hope that what I was saying was I really, really love how you've evolved. You started off as my client, you then became like such a good friend of mine, and then you're pretty much my family, but seeing you evolve and connect with people and being able to show like your personality as an individual so much more, especially of late, has just been so exciting for me, and I'm really excited with where you're at and where you're going. So I just wanted to be able to explore that today.
Well, yeah, thank you for giving me the opportunity and thank you for having me on your podcast today. I'm very excited, nervous, squirmy, but excited.
Squirmy.
Yeah.
And so you came to me in 2018,
yes,
which you just reminded me of,
yep,
and you hit me up on WhatsApp.
Yes, I don't think that's the last time we ever spoke on WhatsApp ever.
Yeah.
But I remember I got back from Europe and our friend Mimi, she just started training with you. I think she'd been with you for like 6 weeks or 2 months or something, I don't know. And she was looking fantastic and I was like, Mimi, I need this, I need it. Tell me something. And she gave me your number and I messaged you on WhatsApp and I remember I was like, hi, Britt. My name's Brooke. My friend Mimi just passed on your details. I sent you this whole big message. And I remember you had blonde hair at the time and your little DP icon was like this blonde, like you had your glasses on and everything. I was like, oh my God, I can't wait to
glasses.
Girl.
Oh, yeah.
And anyway, I remember coming into the woodshed and I'd always sort of been into my fitness, like, you know, I'd had my own gym memberships and whatever, and I'd go to the gym during school and I sort of tried to run, but not really, but always tried to be sort of active, but never really like got on like a proper program and a proper routine and got myself into really good shape. But then when I met you, we then, we clicked straight away. I told you all my goals and I remember we sat in your office and we went through everything I wanted to achieve and everything I wanted to get out of training with you and, you know, all my everything. And I remember we started twice a week and then we actually started training 4 times a week together. Bumped it up to 4 times a week. And I think it was like just before the races came around in 2018, I was like, oh my God.
And we did a challenge, didn't we?
We did a challenge. We did an 8-week challenge. And remember, I actually was working for an events company. And the first day of the 8-week challenge, I was working up in in a grumpy mood.
That's
in a grumpy mood. And I went to start my car and my car wouldn't start because it didn't have any petrol. And I was like, oh my God, this isn't happening. I'm like, Britt, I'm running late. Oh my God, like,
oh yeah, and when Brooke,
and you're like, it's fine.
When Brooke like has a stressful, like when Brooke, it's like her Zoomies in a stressful moment just goes from, and then she would have been so worried that I would have been like,
she's going to think I'm making this up, but I want to do this challenge. Like, she's fine. Like, we'll reschedule. I'm like, shit. Like, And then I think it was, I'd ran out of petrol and anyway, I got someone to start my car or whatever. But then I think it was like 1 week in and I was setting up an event at the George on Collins. And if you've been to the George on Collins, you'll know the steps that you like walk into the George's building, then you've got all the steps, and then it's like glass door, brick. So I'm like stressed, like I've got all this stuff going on. We're bumping into this event, and we're making into this 8-week challenge. And I'm carrying a chair, and I slip, stack down the stairs, miss all the stairs, end up on the brick wall, and I'm like, did anyone see that? No one's around to help me.
I wish I did.
And I ended up like, I've never broken a bone, touch wood, but I'd like not fractured my arm, but I'd had like a hematoma or something, which is like a giant bruise or something in my arm. I thought I'd broken my arm. Anyway, I fully had to wear my arm in like a mini sling, so then couldn't finish this 8-week challenge. So we had to delay it like 3 weeks until like, my arm was fine. And then I ended up smashing it. It was great, and I got into the best shape of my life.
Yeah, you flew. But when you like put your mind to something, you were just all in.
Yeah,
like, that is what I love about you.
Well, I've got
as a client.
I've got when I'm on, I'm on.
When you're on, you are on.
And I have a good mindset, and I like to think of myself as quite disciplined when I want to be, because I think discipline makes you. You can have motivation, but motivation might not be there some days. But if you're disciplined, you know that that's what you have to do no matter what. You just have to do it. And I think I've learnt that over time as well. You just have to do something and put your mind to it. When you put your mind to it, you can do it.
When you were younger, were you like that? Like, did you
I used to do challenges when I was younger of not eating something for a year. Okay. So I used to do these things, and I wanted to try and test myself, and I wanted to see if I could do these things. So the first year I did no lollies. So I did a whole year with no lollies. Then the second year I did nothing deep fried. I did no hot chips. And then the third year I did no bacon, no soft drink, and no lollies. Then the fourth year I did nothing deep fried.
Just
and I went on
wrapped
this
it up.
tangent for like 4 years. I was like in school or something. But I then was like, I can do this. If I put my mind to something, I can do it, you know. And my parents always drilled that into us as well. You know, you got to put your mind to something, and you've got to give it 100%.
Yeah.
There's no point of just giving it 50% or whatever. You've got to give it, you know, your best shot.
Yeah.
So I think I threw that into my training, and when, you know, we can train here and there, but once I know that I need to get somewhere and I need to do something and I need to put myself in a certain place, we just sort of do anything to make that happen.
And how do you notice, like, with balance now, like with that all or nothing mentality, have you found any challenges in trying to sort of keep that balance? Because obviously you're a very sociable person and your life is so busy. So when you're in that off period, like, how do you still maintain it?
So like off period, like not training as much.
When you're on or when you're off.
Because like even like this time of year, like footy finals and stuff. Yeah. Obviously we had the grand final on the weekend, and you know we were drinking all day. It was the best day ever. But I think it's
Pies.
Yeah, go the Pies. I think it was hard for me. You know, when we first started training, I would, you know, my first thing was, okay, well, let's substitute, you know, a vodka pineapple or whatever for a vodka lime soda, which I then hated, and then changed and started having vodka waters with 2 limes. 1, because they're low calorie. 2, you're still enjoying yourself, you're still having a drink, but you're also staying hydrated and not filling yourself with lots of sugar. So I think once I sort of got that mentality, I sort of tried to keep that going, but you know, today I wasn't feeling that great this morning, and, you know, I didn't go to Pilates. So sometimes it's all that to say, yep, you do this, you got to do this. But sometimes you just got to listen to your body. And if you're not feeling 100% or you do need that extra hour's sleep, just take it, you know, and just train that little bit harder the next day. Or, you know, try eat really healthy that day and drink lots of water and, you know, go for a little walk or something. Just sort of listen to your body, which you've always told me as well. Make sure, you know, you listen to your body, and just do whatever your body tells you, because your body knows, you know, what's up. But
even though you've got that all in or all out mentality,
some days you don't have it.
But you also definitely didn't do it in an unhealthy way. Like when you first came to me, you definitely did a really good job at just swapping things.
Yeah,
so I think that's what Mimi did as well, and just easing into it so that your life doesn't drastically change or you're limiting anything. You're just like, oh, instead of this entire pizza, I'll just have like 3 slices.
But that's something that you always said, which not a lot of trainers and not a lot of people do say, is they say, well, you know, a few years ago everyone was like, you know, not trainers and stuff. Well, a lot of the health industry was like, well, you cut this out, you do this, you calorie count, this and this. And I think you especially never did that. Like you sort of always stayed true to what you believed in and what you were taught and the knowledge that you had. And that was, you know, have that slice of pizza, but yes, don't have the whole half or have the whole pizza, or, you know, you want to have a few drinks on the weekend, that's fine, but swap it for this.
Yeah.
You never sort of said to me, oh, well, you can't do that because you're doing this. You sort of found ways for me to be able to do that, but in a healthy way, we're still looking after myself.
Yeah.
You know, which is such a good thing. And you've always had that.
Yeah.
You know, which is that's what I love about you.
Oh. So in terms of your energy levels, like how do you notice that has shifted, or even just your lifestyle, or just your relationships, any aspect of your life? How do you see that has shifted since you've started to take more care of your well-being?
Well, I think the energy plays a big thing because Alex and I did Dry July.
Alex is Brooks.
My partner.
Yeah.
We did Dry July. It was like 5 weeks, and I think it was just on
this year.
Yeah, this year.
Huh.
We did Dry July, and both of our birthdays are in June. So it was, you know, we were celebrating Alex's birthday, then my birthday, and it was one of our other good friends' birthdays. So June is always a really busy month. So we thought to ourselves, you know, let's try challenge ourselves and do Dry July. So we did, and we did 5 weeks. And the energy we had from not drinking during the week, nothing compares to that.
I remember now, yeah.
Like
you're flying in the gym.
Literally in the morning, we'd bounce up, this, ready to go, right, we'd walk, we'd be doing like all this stuff.
Yeah.
And I think that is what has kept us driven to be like, no, we want to be healthy. We don't want to drink on the weekend. You know, we want to look after ourselves.
Yeah.
And, you know, if we do, just don't get home too late, or, you know, don't have bad food the next day, because think of how good you felt with that energy and all the stuff.
More energy,
more passion, more footwork, you know. But seriously though, like it's, you know, it's unbelievable the amount of energy you have when you look after yourself.
Yeah.
And that's what we are thriving on, you know, having that energy.
And it's funny because the way that you say it, which is completely my philosophy, and what I really want people to get to is that taking care of yourself is enjoyable.
Exactly.
Like it's not
and it
a
should
chore.
be enjoyable, and it shouldn't be, you know, forced to, I can't have this because I need to look after myself. It's no, you know, if I don't have this, it's going to make me feel better.
Yeah.
And you're going to do more during the week, and you're going to look after yourself more, and you're going to feel better about yourself. You know, it shouldn't be hard work. It shouldn't be like you said, a chore.
Yeah. Does your relationship almost improve during that time, like with each other as well?
Well, I just think Alex and I, we motivate each other a lot.
Yeah.
So if one of us are being really healthy, the other one will want to be, because we'll pump each other up and whatever. But, you know, if one of us want to be lazy, we'll go, okay, yeah, I'll be lazy too, you know? So I think we like to do what the other person is doing because we work better as a team. So if we're both doing something, we're going to excel at that even more, you know?
Yeah. I do notice that you guys work so well as a team. That's something I admire of your relationship. Is I remember we went to Sydney and we came home, and even though Alex was a bit angry at us because we made him drive that whole way
to the airport.
Yeah, but I remember saying to you, like, the way you speak to each other is just with so much respect. It's really nice.
Well, he's like my best friend, you know.
Yeah.
And I think that's one thing you have to have in a relationship, is you've got to have that friendship bond, because if you don't respect each other enough to have, you know, you respect your best friend, you do anything for them. You should be like that with your partner.
Yeah,
you know?
the exact same.
And I think, you know, we'll tell each other how it is, even if it hurts the other person. We'll say, well, no, you're acting like an idiot, or no, you shouldn't do that, or, you know, you'll feel better if you do this, or why don't you try this? Because you want them to do better, and you want them to help themselves and, you know, be the best person they can be.
Like cheerleader.
Yeah, exactly. You got to be each other's number one fan.
Yeah. Does he do? I know that you've been diving into ice bars lately.
Yes.
Pardon the pun. Does he do those with you?
Yeah. So my brother got us into them at the start of the year. He bought a chest freezer, and Jackson seriously was one of the people that I think started the ice bath trend. Like, all of a sudden everyone's doing ice baths, and I'm like, Jackson, that was you. Like, that was you. And he bought this chest freezer, and anyway, he just filled it up with the hose, and we all went down to our beach house, and Jackson's like, come on, like, get in the ice bath. I was like, there's absolutely no way. Like, I hate the cold water. And anyway, I got in and I screamed and I swore my head off. And then religiously for every day for a month, we were doing ice baths at, like, you know, 5 degrees, 3 degrees.
Yeah.
Excuse me. And it was one of the only things that I will ever be able to recommend, hand on my heart say, improves your stress, not improves your stress.
It decreases
not
cortisol,
improves your stress. Sorry, it does improve your stress because it's not there.
Improves your stress levels.
Yeah, so it decreases my stress and makes me feel less fiery and filled with frustration or whatever. It's one of the only things that brings me back down.
It brings the cortisol down, yeah.
Chill and just, it's not that big of a deal.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like my anxiety as well. Honestly.
Do you think it's like, well, I sort of know, but do you think it's because it forces you to breathe through it? Or do you think it's more like the fact that it's immersing yourself in discomfort?
I think it's a bit of both. So I think it's, my mum always says, you just got to breathe. Like, just breathe. Like, you get through something and, you just got to breathe through it. Take a deep breath. Like, everything is within your breath, And I think, like I said before about putting your mind to something, getting in that ice bath at 3 degrees for 3 minutes, being able to do that and just breathing through it and letting it happen, it's 3 minutes of your life.
Yeah.
Compared to the scheme of things, it's 3 minutes that you're going to be uncomfortable, but think of how good you feel afterwards.
Yeah. It's actually incredible when you're in a state of mind that day, or say you're slugging around on the couch and then you go immerse yourself in cold water, like that just shifts you right out of that environment.
And no matter what's going on, it's literally the only thing that I say helps. Only thing that I've ever done, I should say, only thing that I've ever done or tried, whatever, it's the easiest thing. Jump in the ocean. It's the most cleansing, amazing, like euphoric feeling ever. And it's so good for you. It's so good for your heart. And that's one thing we say is make sure when you're in the ice bath that your heart has to be in the water. So your heart has to be feeling all of that goodness and all of the benefits that you get out of cold water therapy. Your heart has to be the one to feel it as well because it's so beneficial for your heart and all your blood and everything. And the thing a lot of people do is they have this cold ice bath and then they jump in the hot shower afterwards straight away, and you can't do that. It's not good for yourself because you're not getting all the benefits. Because when you actually get out of the ice bath or the cold water, if you have a hot shower straight away, your body doesn't actually get to warm up naturally and feel and release all of those chemicals and all of the stuff because you're getting warmed up. So it's a trick. Make sure you don't have...
There we go, ladies and gentlemen.
Don't have a hot shower.
And your mum is the sweetest lady, but she's also a yogi. Has she taught you a lot of practices or different ways in terms of yoga, especially in this past year, to help you like breathe through things as well? Like, what does she sort of pass down? And
so she always, as you would know, when we tried to do yoga with her during lockdown, it's a bit like this. I can't take my mum is the best yoga teacher. She's the most calming, amazing, inspirational role model woman in the whole entire world. But when I get in on the mat in her yoga class,
you and I
she has this voice because she's so calming.
I know. We can't even sit here just like this, let alone trying to do yoga. We were
in
flopping.
silence.
It was like we were on a slip slide and we were just sliding around, and your mum was just sitting there gobsmacked like, just do it like this. And we were just like,
because she's so calm and relaxing, and she's like professional, like in her zone, like doing her job. I can't take her seriously. So I can't do yoga with her. But Alex loves, my mum puts him to sleep. And my friend Riley, they put them, she puts them to sleep. They'll be like full snoring in Tavasana. I can't remember what it's called. She's going to get angry with that. I forget what it is. Tavasana, whatever it is at the end.
Shavasana.
Yeah, that's it, not Tavasana. But she teaches me like breathing. Yeah. That's what she... Breathing in a way of just letting your mind just be there and whatever you got, just breathe. It's the one thing she always says, just control your breath, just breathe, basically. So that's, I think, something that I wish that I could sit down and do yoga with her, but I can't because I just laugh.
I can't imagine.
We do like our cold water swims together. Like we'll sit there in the water and we won't talk and we'll just be with each other in the water. Like that's, I think, the most cleansing thing ever. Yeah. And one of the most wholesome and special things we do, like as a family, we get in the water. My sister hasn't gotten the cold water yet though, but we're trying to get her in there. But yeah, it's just something nice that we all do together.
Yeah, bonding experience.
Yeah. but also healing and cleansing and,
in nature.
Yeah, it makes you feel good.
What have you noticed with exercise in terms of mental resilience? Obviously, this past year has been the toughest year of your life. What have you noticed as a correlation between exercise and mental resilience, if any?
So I think one thing that exercise allows me to do is I can throw myself into it and I can let off so much steam. I can push my body to limits that, I may not feel like I could do at that time. But when I do it, I feel so accomplished. I feel like, at the start of the morning, I didn't want to do that. And the fact that I did it and excelled and did so well, I think then brings a positive mindset to my mind as well. And being able to, throw yourself into exercise and just switch off from everything that's going on. You've got that 45 minutes to benefit yourself, to look after yourself and to make yourself better. Do everything you can in that 45 minutes because no matter what's going on, you're going to feel so much better afterwards. Even if it's just for 5 minutes, your body has benefited it, your mental health has benefited it, and you as one have benefited it as well.
Just a quick interruption. If you are enjoying this episode, then make sure that you subscribe or leave a review. It would help us out a lot. And even it goes both ways, even being good friends, but also you being my client, coming to me 2 times a week. Over the years, you've seen my low lows and high highs. I've seen your low lows and high highs. And sometimes I will never forget when you came in. You've always stayed really consistent with exercise, and I think you've noticed that I channel my emotion through my body. Yeah, and perhaps that has sort of. I never tried to push you too much, but I was never. When you're ready to come back in the gym. But I remember one time you were in the gym with me, and I could see your hands just I was in a fist in lunges, and then we just went for a walk instead and we're let's just have a cry it out.
Well, sometimes you just have to do it. Even if you try, even if you're feeling not great, which I wasn't that morning, but I still said, no, you know what? I want to see Britt because it makes me feel good and I want to smash it. I started to do lunges and my fists were like this because I was so angry just at the world and I was just having a really down day.
And I looked down and I was
pumping and I'm like, are you kidding me? Anyway, and then I just do this lunge and I just start bawling my eyes out. And you're like, what's wrong? And Britt went to hug me and I just kept, when someone hugs you and you just keep crying, I was like hyperventilating. Anyway, we just sat out and the sun was coming up. It was really early.
Yeah.
And the sun was coming up and we just had a chat and we just cried. And
in the gutter.
In the gutter. Just sitting there people don't know, how you going? Good morning. But sometimes you've got to do that as well.
And it's funny because even exercise, honestly, sometimes I go to a trainer and when I step into the gym, all of my emotion just comes out. Because you're using your body.
Good. It's your safe space.
Yeah.
And I think that's,
so interesting.
You're going to have your on days, but you're going to have your off days. I have lots of off days. Everyone does. And if you don't, you're not human and you're doing something wrong. You've got to have off days to then feel good about the good days.
Do you feel sometimes I almost say to you, slow down. Do you feel like you dive into keeping yourself busy a lot?
And my dad always said that to me. He goes, you're always so busy. Just slow down. He used to go, and I'm like, these hands, stop it. I'm slow. And he'd go, just calm down. And when you tell me to slow down, I'm like, she's like, what? But no, it's true, Mike, because I am everything in my life is always so much going on. It's always so busy. And then I think when I stop, my mum always, and so do you have to remind me to just, and my dad, all of you guys would tell me, just stop, just slow down, just decompress a little bit, Doesn't matter if you don't, do this thing this day. Just look after yourself and slow down and just decompress a bit. And I think that's something that I struggle with because I'm always so busy all the time. I always have to be doing stuff. But I think, the last 18 months I have found those days just to be within my thoughts and just to be on the couch in my pajamas all day. And that's fine. Do you know what I mean? And I'm the biggest advocate for that because I think if you don't, I believe very much in, having down days and just being within your thoughts and not pushing that aside because I think you have to have those. And I think being busy all the time with work and, all our family stuff going on, sometimes you get lost in that sort of routine of busy. Yeah. And I really have to just say, no, you know what? I'm just having a day in my pajamas today and doing nothing. And I think I've found by doing that, it benefits me more. And it's okay to have those off days and do nothing and not train and not get up and do 3 steps the whole day. And, you know, if you want to eat like crap, that's fine. Do it, whatever makes you feel good. And I think a lot of people don't feel like that's okay to do, you know. And like my favourite thing is to be in my pajamas watching TV all day. If I could do that every day, I would.
Yeah.
But, you know, you just got to find that time for yourself.
Yeah, I've noticed that you have been really good at that. Like, I think when you go through adversity as well, you really figure out where you're wanting to put your energy.
Yeah.
How you can reserve it, and you're real good with your boundaries.
Yeah, I think recently I've had to be. Because if I say yes to two, like if I say like, you know, with work, if I've got 3 events on that week or whatever and 2 of them are in one day, I'll be exhausted by the end of the day. So I'll say like, you know what, this week I've got this going on. So I'm going to say as much as I'd love to do this, I can't. I'm not going to try and make that work because I need to look after myself as well. And it's okay to say no to work stuff. It's okay to say no to your friends. It's okay to just want to sit at home and do nothing. You know, there's nothing wrong with doing that. And I think hopefully people, you know, can understand that it's all right to just do nothing.
Has that been
as well?
Has that in terms of what you just said about like you can say no to friends? Has that been something that you've noticed as well, as of like having to be quite selective with who you surround yourself with? Like, have you noticed that who you surround yourself with makes a big impact on your quality of life?
I think I've got a very good group of friends. I've got, you know, my humans and all of that. And I think they know that when I just want to do nothing, they sort of know that that's just what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
And, you know, sometimes they'll be like, oh, well, like, why do you want to see me? I'm like, no, I just want to do nothing. You know, don't take it personally. Like, it's okay. But I think that's when you've got good friends, they respect that. You know what I mean? Because if they were having a bad day or they didn't want to do something, I would expect them to just say, you know what, I can't be bothered. I'd be like, that's fine. You know what I mean? So as long as you just have that communication and that respectful communication, open communication to be like, you know what, I actually can't be bothered talking to anyone. Like social battery flickering red, can't be bothered, just want to sit on the couch. That's fine.
Yeah.
You know, and if people make you feel bad about that, then they're not your friends.
Yeah.
You know, if people make you feel bad for wanting to sit on the couch or being sad or whatever, then they're not people that you should be hanging out with because they don't value your values or, you know, feelings. That's what I think.
I think your self-assurance is such a big part of why I admire you as a human so much. I've always noticed that your confidence, it's not saying that you're like, you know, got your head up your ass or anything like that.
I hope not.
No way. You're definitely just not a sheep. And I know that you just have such a high level of self-assurance. And I just wanted to ask, or I was always wondering, like, where you got that from. Like, have you always been like that, or have you ever felt sort of swayed by what other people are doing or what they think of you or anything like that?
Well, I think my parents always brought us up very well in, you know, having respect for everyone, no matter who they are, you know, always be polite, have good manners, and even though that's sort of like the same thing. But I think we've always been drilled into us since we were kids that you have to stay true to yourself. And obviously my brother, my sister and I, growing up in the public eye, you know, everyone was always watching us doing whatever we were doing, people were watching, people were looking, and they'll pick you apart. And I think the one thing that has been beneficial for me, you know, working in social media now, being true to myself, and that's what my parents always taught me, be who you are, no one else is you, you know, and own that in every way possible. I think being able to express that more now on TikTok and Instagram, it sort of shows people that that's how I've been brought up, and I'm not going to change no matter what happens, because if you do, you get lost. And people can get so caught up in, you know, a certain trend or doing whatever, but why be the same as everybody else? Or why have to follow? Why do all this? If you don't want to do that, you know, it's in your morals not to do that, so don't do it, you know? And I just think it all sort of comes back to what you want to do for yourself. You know, you can be brought up and someone can be the best parent ever, but, you know, their kid decides that they don't want to live that life and, you know, they go and spiral and do whatever. That's fine. But I think at the end of the day, it's up to yourself. You can be taught whatever, but it's up to yourself if you want to carry on what you've been taught in the right way, or, you know, if you don't. But I think staying true to yourself and owning who you are is what makes us all so unique and so special.
Do you feel like, how you were saying, being brought up in the public eye, do you feel like that made you grow up like much quicker?
Yeah, for sure. I think, you know, when we were younger and, you know, we were like 16, 17 and, you know, people were going out and doing all of that, it was like not that we didn't, but we couldn't, there was a lot of things that we couldn't do when we were kids and stuff because of who we were. And I think that gave us a lot of resilience and sort of, you know, it's okay if we can't do that and whatever, you know, look like, you know, all of that. But I think when we were kids, there was a lot of stuff that like people would always pick apart. People would always be looking at us to go wrong or looking to pick the worst things out of us. And I think we sort of got that negativity and just turned it into strength and turned it into like, you know what, it's really doesn't really matter what that person thinks of us, you know, as long as we're true to ourselves and, you know, stay true to us and our family and all of that. That's sort of what matters. Yeah. I sort of went off your question then.
No, I think that's what I was relating to is even as a person and as a friend, as an individual, you do that in your everyday life just with trends and people around you. Yeah. But in the public eye, you've obviously had to do that all your life. So then that makes that connection as to probably how you are resilient with that.
Yeah, and I think, you know what, it's my parents are who, you know, I am. They make up me. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for them. And I think, you know, being in the public eye as a kid, we've just had to learn so much and grow up quickly because if you don't, you're not going to know how to deal with that. And because obviously my parents guided us through everything, we also had them to fall back on no matter what. Yeah. And I think we just had to be resilient. We had to be strong. We had to, you know, learn to just ignore the photographers. We just had to learn to ignore what people would say about you online. Otherwise, you spiral and you get yourself into this little hole and you're not going to come out of it, you know? So it's a lot harder said than done, but we've had, 26 years experience of having to deal with people saying bad things about you and following us and doing all of that kind of thing. But, you know, you just have to deal with it. Unfortunately, that's life. Life will throw lots of things at you, but you just have to learn how to deal with them. And you might not make the right decision the first time, but try again the second time.
You've actually always instilled that into me as well as a friend. You've always been like, who cares what people think?
Because that's what my dad always, what my dad always said. People would write the worst things, but he didn't let it get to him. He said, if that person's really going to write something bad about me, well, then I feel sorry for them. Yeah. You know?
That's a testament to your parents as well. Just like, obviously I can see that your mum has always just nurtured you so well. And then obviously your dad has always made you feel free to be who you are, you, Summer and Jackson. Yeah. So I think that is like just such a pivotal role. Like if one of them were a different way, I feel like, you know, you'd probably feel more pressure to be.
Yeah, 100%. And I think that's one of the things as well at school. You know, my parents never put pressure on us. You know, they just said, try your hardest, you know, and whatever.
So you felt enough.
Yeah, as you are. Never tried to force us into doing something we never wanted to do. And I think we were very lucky because a lot of parents, you know, would force their kids to do this and do that and all that. And, you know, with my dad being who he was, he never forced us into doing sport. He said, you know, do you want to play netball on the weekend? Do you want to play cricket?
Does it make you happy?
Does it make you happy? Yeah. Is that what you want to do? We were always given the option. We were never like, well, you have to do this. Obviously, there were things that we had to do because we were kids and they're our parents and they tell us what to do, that's what we do. But they always gave us the option and always, you know, mottos through life by saying, you know, whatever you want to do, make sure that you give it your best and you try your hardest at it, no matter what you do, as long as you try your hardest. Yeah. And I think you've just got to carry that motto through life. You know?
Which is a good way to do it. And because they are such good role models as well, I feel like you, even though you felt enough, you were still able to have that level of motivation shown to you.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, 100%.
So good. Who do you reckon you're most like out of Summer, Jackson, mum or dad?
See, I'm a mini dad. I'm a mini Shane. Cute. Me and my sister both are. But I think I'm very much, my brother, my sister and I are very different, but we're very much the same.
Yeah. Your dynamics are just so
We're three polar opposite kids.
Yeah, you are.
But our morals are very much the same. The way we treat people is very much the same.
That is very true.
Our beliefs are very much the same. I'm very nurturing like my mum, and I'm literally a mini version of my dad. The way he speaks, the way he acts, the way
he looks,
and the way he looks, exactly like, you know. And I'm so proud of that. You know, I think I'm very much like all of them in their best ways, and we all sort of make up. We're all five of us. We're all sort of like the same in all of our little ways. I don't know how to explain it, but yeah.
Nah, I agree. And I do agree with, like, Summer's obviously come to terms with me. I know Jackson.
Yeah.
You all definitely do have this very caring and beautiful nature about you.
Yeah.
And it's something that I love most about you.
Thank you.
It's so good.
Yeah.
And I do notice as well, like, as a friend, you are such a loyal and protective person.
Yeah.
And you've probably felt like you've needed to be that in some different areas of your life as well. Do you reckon it's because you're the eldest sibling?
Yes, I think I'm always been very protective of my family because, you know, obviously being in the public eye, everyone is the first to say something about your family or whatever. And I think I'm a very defensive person, and I'm very protective because I've always wanted to look after my siblings. I've always wanted to protect my family.
I love that so much about you.
And I think sometimes it doesn't work in my favour because I can get quite defensive. But it's because I'm passionate, and it's because and it's because I care, you know. And I think sometimes my passion takes
that's why I giggled.
can sometimes come across as anger. But it's because I care so much, I get quite defensive and I get so protective. And I think that's just because I am who I am and how I've grown up. I think that's how I feel like I have to be, you know, because that's how my parents were.
Yeah.
And, you know, I always want to just protect, you know, even though my brother may think he's older than me, he's not. I'm the eldest. But we always, I feel like he has that sort of older brother thing over me, but I will protect them like they're my baby siblings.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But we all will protect each other like that, and I think we always have. You know what I mean?
Such a good tight-knit family.
We don't see each other as, oh, you're older, you're younger, this, that, and this. I think we all see each other as equal, but we're all very protective in our own little way.
Yeah.
Excuse me. But, yeah, no.
Do you feel like you've been more, like, less brother-sister fighty as of late? Do you feel like you're more, like, supportive of one another now? I feel like when I first met you, it was no, you've always had that, but
No, we're always, us three, we used to just like, as any siblings do,
as
you know.
Any,
Yeah, but I think we have very strong beliefs with certain things, and sometimes we'll be like, oh, no, you're just wrong. But none of us will ever want to be wrong. None of us can be wrong. We always have to be right. But I think the thing is, no matter what disagreement we have, no matter what goes on, no matter what happens, protecting and being there for one another is our first priority and always will be. So even if, you know, me and Jackson have a massive fight, if he needs me or I need to be there for him, I'll be there. No matter what happens. And that's our little trio, my brother, my sister, and myself, are the closest siblings. We're the closest of anything. And no matter what happens and how angry or whatever we get, the fact that we will always, always, always be there when each other need through anything, I think that's what separates us from a lot of people, because we would do anything for each other. Even if we were angry at each other, we'd still do it. Because we want that person to be okay.
And because you feel so okay with your uniqueness, you probably feel that with them as well. Like, you can all kind of identify where you're all different.
Yeah. And I think that's one of the things growing up, we've always been the three just complete opposites humans. Like, we could not be more opposite, but it's weird how we're so opposite, but we're so the same.
Just a quick one, if you're wanting me as your PT in your pocket and wanting my coaching and guidance personally, then you can download the Body Active app, and the link will be in your show notes. Yeah. When you were growing up, like when we first met, where were you working at that event?
2018.
At that event place? Or was it real estate? Was it the real?
Nah, 2018 I was working in events, and then I went back to White Rabbit in Brighton, where I was for like 7 years. I was there after school for 3 years, and then I moved to the events, and then I went back to White Rabbit for like 2 years until COVID, I think, and then I started working then I went into real estate.
What did you did you know what you wanted to do when you grew up?
Never knew what I wanted to do. But I loved organising. I loved planning.
You did your events.
Yep, I did
course.
events. I did my events management diploma.
Yeah, that's right.
Like,
I did that too.
Did you?
You know?
I feel like I did know this.
Yeah.
I feel like you told me
crazy.
this, which is very special.
Special.
And what's it called? I never really knew what I wanted to do, but I knew I wanted to do something with people. I loved people.
You love people.
I can talk to a brick wall. Like you know.
You can.
And obviously since everything's happened, I've sort of needed a platform where I can control my interaction with people at my own level, if that makes sense. So
yeah,
I've always wanted to work with people, but not sure how I could control it in my own way. That I could, if I didn't want to answer something or didn't want to talk about something, I had the opportunity and what's the word?
like you have
control.
You're able to put up boundaries.
Yeah, I'm
where
able
you
to
need.
put up boundaries. So I think that's what's great with social media. I can still interact with these people that I probably never would have interacted with, which I love because, I love interacting with people no matter who it is or whatever. And I think it's really cool to be able to, I'm so lucky to have the job that I do have, being able to talk to all these different people all throughout the world and being able to interact with them on a level and just being able to talk to people and find out things about people and, being able to communicate and interact, but at my own sort of level, which I think is great. And I think, when I've, started doing my cooking videos and,
Cook with Brooke.
Yeah, Cook with Brooke. People didn't know that I could cook or loved cooking.
That's what I was saying at the start, that I love that you're able to express it because you as a person, it's just someone who I admire so much just for like so many of the qualities that you hold, and it's just cool that other people are able to see more of you now.
Yeah, and I think thank you, and I think that's something that I love as well. People being able to find out more about me and me being able to interact with them and them asking me questions and being able to talk to them and, give them answers and, have a chat with them, I think is so cool because it's like, these people are interested in me. They're watching my videos and they're taking time out of their day to comment on the least I can do is reply to them. Do you know what I mean? Like I want
You're
to.
so natural at it
Yeah,
too,
but I think it's because that's what I want to do. I like people,
Yeah.
So.
How did you feel when you didn't know what you wanted to do? How did you navigate like the unknown?
Oh, I don't know really.
Or did you always feel quite...
I knew I always wanted to do something with people, but I think I just sort of just let the job opportunities, I'd go for different sort of jobs, and if I didn't like it, I'd be like, okay, maybe this isn't for me. I'd try something else. I've had a job since I was like 14.
Yeah.
So I've done so many different things. But I think we went away last year, I started doing TikTok and I was like, I like doing this. Like I like making videos, and I always sort of had, but because I was working full time, I never really had the time to put a lot of time into making videos. And obviously now with our busy schedules and everything, it's sort of, I can not work my own hours, but I can sort of have my own schedule. So it's sort of like working for myself, which is great.
Yeah, it is. Of course it is. You're working for yourself.
Yeah,
You're definitely running your own business.
Yeah, so it's good that, if some days if I have too much family stuff on, I can say, no, you know what, I'll just have to do double that tomorrow because I need to do this today. And I think it's been great being able to, navigate that myself. And
because you're quite good with organisation, like when you go on holidays and that you're the one with the itinerary, you probably quite enjoy having to organise your day, like each hour is all scheduled and stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly. So I love itineraries. That's what I mean by, I love planning row 5, ILB, section C, like colour coding. Like when Alex and I went away last year, we had like an 8-page itinerary. It was like blue, green, yellow, red, all colour coded, like all this stuff. And yeah, I just love planning and love organising, and I try and be organised. Sometimes I'm just so chaotic and there's crap
it's like
everywhere.
Organised chaos.
It's organised chaos.
It's like Bali traffic.
Yeah, correct. It's organised chaos. But some days I'm organised than others. But when I get myself into a good routine with exercise, my eating, then I'm more organised as well.
How do you tackle social media or the pressure of making content and the upkeep on days that you are feeling emotionally flat or the tougher days?
Well, the thing I've learned is if you're not up to doing something that day, making a video, just have a day off.
Yeah.
You don't have to make a video. Or if you feel like you do, talk it through through your content.
Yeah.
You know, open the video up and say, you know what, I don't feel like making a video today, but I just wanted to have a chat with you guys and whatever. And I think that's what is great about social media. You can be, or depends if you want to have that, you know, open relationship with your followers and, you know, on your platform.
Yeah.
You can.
That's something that I've definitely struggled with.
Yeah.
Especially in my tougher times over the last couple of years, is I just go MIA.
Yeah.
I just
I'm the same.
cannot even look at my phone.
Yeah. And I think I'm sometimes like that as well.
Yeah.
But you just got to listen to yourself.
It's each to their own. Yeah.
Exactly.
What's your favourite style of exercise?
Well, I've just recently got into Reformer Pilates, which I'm loving. But I think strength training for me will always be my favourite because I hate cardio. I tried to get into running. It felt amazing. It was amazing. And I was doing great. But strength training will always be my favourite, I think.
What do you notice about strength training that you've seen benefits from?
Oh, everything.
Yeah.
It's just so beneficial for just everything you do.
Like when you first started, remember trying to introduce a new exercise? Brooke?
Still now, I can't. My brain is like...
Brooke is like you're like my one client that I have to go, okay, is there enough people?
Britt will be like, okay, wait, there's a bench here. I need to move that. She's going to be like in a little creation in a cage. She needs more room. She needs to be able, too many people around, get away from her.
If someone comes too close, I feel like I'm just your bodyguard the whole time.
She'll stand in front of me, but because sometimes I'm like, oh, I don't know, like, what? You'd say it again. She's like, okay, we're going to do this, like, you know, take it in steps. But I think with strength training, you can go at your own pace. If you don't want to, you know, have 10 kilo dumbbells in each hand, you just have 2 kilos and see how you go. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you do upper and lower with me each week and you've stayed so consistent. But even just your love for exercise has just flourished over the last few years. Even your strength training, like being able to load you up with deadlifts and that perfect technique. It's been honestly such a pleasure being able to train you. That's
because I've got such a good trainer like you.
I know, but because you're passionate in everyday life, like when it comes to your workout and your training, like you definitely bring, it's the funniest part is in your training and in our workouts, you bring like so many of those qualities into your sessions.
Also do you. We bounce off each other very well.
We do.
And I think good energy attracts good energy.
It does.
And footwork.
Good energy. How many times? All right, well, I wanted to finish on a you go, I go.
Oh,
crap. I thought it would be funny to say, okay, I'll go through them as we go.
Yeah.
So first of all is an ick. So something about me that gives you the ick.
Okay. So when Britt's really busy, I know she's with clients, so I know she's got all this stuff. I'll send her like 10 messages and I'll know she's been busy. If like she's obviously stressed or something, and she'll probably like, "Hey!" exclamation mark. Just really just like sassy, like just been with clients.
Quite
I'm like, I know you've been with clients. Hey, just with clients. Yeah, just really busy today. I'll get back to you, but yeah, that's fine. Like, I'm like, why are you talking to me like this? Stop it. I get it. You're busy. Same. But shit.
It's a great ick.
Anyway, yours?
My ick is your clammy hands.
You should feel them now. I've been like this.
Mine are as well.
Yeah,
we both have clammy hands.
I'm sweating now. Shit.
We both do though, so it's not mean. Okay, what is something that you love about me?
I love how we can just be completely ourselves with each other. And you always make me feel so good about myself.
Yeah.
Don't cry.
I'm not crying. My cheeks hurt. We've been laughing all morning. Oh. Let's see what I love about you.
About me?
Okay, I love about you, you are a fiercely loyal person and you have, I'm just going to rattle. I'm going to say about 10 things. No. But
just one.
Coming under the roof of the fiercely loyal person, you've just the most caring and supportive friend. Like you just have the biggest heart of gold. That's what I love about you.
That's very sweet.
That's enough.
Thank you. Make me blush.
What's your favourite habit of mine?
Habit of yours?
Yeah.
What? What's my favourite habit of yours? Okay. That you always have your Carmen's bar at 10 o'clock.
When you're training,
we will go, hey, 10 more reps. And then she'll come back and then she'll just have her gums of heart.
And she goes, my favourite thing is you go, snack time.
Snack time. That's my favourite habit of yours.
Even one time you bought me snacks.
Oh, yeah. Are you a banana?
That was very cute. Okay, my favourite habit of yours is happy feet. Brooke's feet, like she'll be doing squats.
So when I'm doing an exercise, I'll be like this.
In between each rep, her feet are just going like
like
this. And then her partner, Alex, has been doing that
when
as
he
well.
does it.
Because he's come in and I'm like, you've got happy feet too.
Yeah.
Okay, something that reminds you of me. It's weird when I ask it because it sounds quite vain.
Something that reminds...
I'll go first.
No, me first. Baby yellow. Yellow is your colour.
Mine for you is this emoji.
Oh, yeah, that's your
one.
thing with the smiley face and this.
Yeah.
That's really sweet.
Okay, quick fire questions.
Yep.
These are fun. Sorry for looking down. What is your most prized possession?
See, I don't know. You've asked me this before. I don't know. My most prized possession, probably my family and Alex.
Yeah.
Alex is my family too, but probably my family and Alex.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
What about you?
No, it's not a you go, I go anymore. What is
me.
your favourite style of exercise? You've already said that, really.
Yeah.
Okay. What is the best piece of advice you've ever received?
Oh. Best piece of advice. God, I've received a lot of advice in my time.
It doesn't have to be quick fire. You can elaborate.
Let me think.
I don't know how long this podcast has been going for, but...
I think it's just like my mum and dad would always say, or my dad would always say, just try your best, try harder and just find a way. And I think it's something so small, but has impacted me my whole life. Just try your hardest. And if you can't do something, find a way.
I like what you said about that because it is something that's just so simple, but sometimes the most simple reminders.
Yeah, but it's like, I think that's something that I live by, just find a way and try harder. And I think that pushes me as well, but in a good way.
Because then if you're just doing your best, that's all we can really do.
Yeah.
Awesome. What is something that you would tell your younger self? You're quite young though, so this question is a little...
Do those sit-ups. Keep doing sit-ups.
Abs on.
Do the 8-minute abs.
Abs on.
You remember that 8-minute abs they used to have on YouTube? 5-minute abs, whatever it's called. Do it. Don't skip a day.
On the body active app.
Yeah, I'm on the body active app now. No, I don't know. Don't be so hard on yourself. I'm not that hard. I am hard on myself. But yeah, don't be so hard on yourself. And everything's going to work out.
Yeah.
What's meant to be will
Just go
be.
with the flow of life.
Yeah. As shit as it seems at the time, it'll work out.
That's probably something that you've realised as well. It's just how strong you are.
Yeah. Thank you.
What if someone that knows you really well, what is one word that they would describe you as? Is that a big one, D?
The boss. A boss.
Yeah, true.
Nah.
The queen.
I don't know. I don't like talking about myself.
Well, we've just done that for about an hour.
No, I mean like...
No, I'm kidding. Like giving yourself...
What do you think?
No, you have to... No, this is a good exercise for you.
One word to describe me, loving.
Yeah. That's great. See, Brookie?
Thank you.
What's something about yourself that you like about yourself? Beautiful.
I like my eyes.
What about your beauty spot? Oh, yeah.
I like my eyes and my freckles.
And then what is a word that you would use to describe yourself? It's sort of the same question, but what? Yeah.
Yourself.
It's not the same question, actually. That's a good question, Brittany.
Use to describe yourself. A describing word.
Yeah.
Describe myself. I don't know. A go-getter?
Yeah. Wow, Brookie, this has just been an absolute pleasure.
It has. We did it. We got through it.
We did it.
Thank you so much for having me. It's been amazing and so fun and so great.
How can people see more of you? Because I'm sure they want to.
On my TikTok and Instagram.
What's your TikTok?
My TikTok is at Brooke Warne.
Isn't there a one in there?
_Warne.
Oh.
One.
Oh, there's a one.
Can I check?
Yeah. Check. And then meanwhile, Brooke Warne on Instagram.
Oh, crap.
My glasses are too big for me and I keep having
My
to.
TikTok is BrookeWarne _. And then my Instagram is @BrookeWarne. No one, I got rid of the one. That's me.
Very exciting.
And how can they,
Sorry?
How can they find you?
No, Brookie, stop.
Thank you so much for having me, Britty babe.
I love you very much.
I love you.
And thank you. Honestly, it's been an absolute honour having you. And
Thank
you're
you.
just such a cool chick. So I hope that people have been able to see that through this.
Thank you. I
Love
got
you.
the squirmies. Love you.
Squirmies!
Bye.
Thanks for joining us on Train the Brain podcast. If you would like to hear more from myself and my guests, then make sure that you subscribe and I'll see you next time.